So let's talk about ease of doing business, which has been on the top of the agenda of the Buhari's administration since it came into office. And in recent years, the government has done quite a whole lot more. It's been ranked higher by the World Bank. Now, but there are a few concerns still about ease of doing business and whether we're really ready for doing business. Let's deepen this conversation with Paul ALAJE, who is a senior economist at SPM Professionals. Good evening, Paul. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having me.
Great. Do you think Nigeria's ease of doing business has gone a long way enough to make a dramatic change in the private sector?
Yeah, clearly, I think Nigeria ease of doing business has gone a long way. By now, Nigeria should be looking at perhaps how to join the top 50 countries in the world when it comes to doing business. Our target for now is how to join the top 100. As we speak, Nigeria moved we've had a huge step to 131 from the point we were before, above 140. And this perhaps is the highest. But when you look critically onto the point, because ease of doing business is not just rated, there were some issues around the country that are factors that affect ease of doing business. One of them is registering business. And Nigeria moved up to top 105 because we had 86.2 score. And that's not only the thing that we improved. Nigeria improved on ease of dealing with contract permits and also getting electricity, even though the score there was below average at 47.4, which is far below average. Also registering property, this is one of the biggest worries we have had in a long time. Nigeria had 29.5, which is far below 1/3 of the countries rated. That is why Nigeria there was 183. Out of the number of countries rated, perhaps among the least countries that was rated. Ease of paying taxes. We had an improvement in 2018. So in 2019, there is no major reform in tax in paying taxes that Nigeria carried out. So Nigeria had 53.7. And of course, protecting minority interests, Nigeria remained at 72%, which made us to be rated at 28%. Getting credit. And I know a lot of Nigerians have disagreed with this, particularly small and medium-scale businesses. It's 15, that Nigeria is top 15 in the world, which put our score at 85%. And of course, trading across borders, Nigeria remained very poor at 179, scoring only 29.2, which perhaps is one among the lowest. Enforcing contracts, 61.5, which put Nigeria. Nigeria recently reviewed the Corporate Affairs Commission, and particularly Nigeria is now among 148 because of very poor performance we had on resolving insolvency. So when we look at all of this together, something is very, very clear. Nigeria still has a lot to do, and we should not shy away from the fact that we have done a lot. Paul, to even get to this point on ease of doing business, 131 out of close to 190 countries that were rated. Yes.
Paul, very quickly, when folks on the street says ease of doing business, what exactly are Nigerians looking for when you say ease of doing business? As basic as it can be.
Okay, so, but you see, this is what World Bank doing business says makes up ease of doing business. For Nigeria, what it means when it comes to ease of doing business, ability to do business in an environment that is supportive, and there is no double taxation or overcharge by various agencies of government, ability to understand the business requirement, the cost requirement. For instance, if you go to, if you want to do business in UAE, particularly in Dubai, it is very clear as to what you will pay government. It is very clear as to the cost of signage. In Nigeria, that is not the case. In Nigeria, you have local authority coming for signage fee, state authority or federal capital territory, as the case may be, wanting to collect the same fee. There is no clarity as to which agency of government is responsible for what. Again, when it comes to access to credit, which I mentioned, Nigeria has the highest score in that. We are rated among top 15 or so in the world. But you see, this was only a questionnaire that were given predominantly to multinational, large businesses. But
Paul, let's continue this conversation after the break. We're talking about deepening Nigeria's ease of doing business. Paul ALAJE from SPM Professionals in part 2 after the break. Ease of doing business in line with some of the recent government policies and actions. Paul ALAJE of SPM. Thank you, Paul, for sticking around for this conversation. So let's just continue from where we stopped. And I'm just going to find that, yes, do you think the coronavirus pandemic has brought new challenges into ease of doing business in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think so. I think with the pandemic, Nigeria has a lot to battle with, unlike the business environment that we had before. Doing business, one of the major areas where Nigeria score really low is trading across borders. Now with the pandemic, I'm envisaging that Nigeria may even score lower in the coming period. Apart from that, paying taxes. Before now, Nigeria is rated fairly above 50%. And because during the pandemic, Nigeria was largely affected with the lockdowns among other countries. As we speak, Monetary Policy Committee has responded to the pandemic and the issue of growth by fixing NPR at 11.5%, which of course is a disincentive to those who want to do business in Nigeria. So trading, foreigners coming to do business in Nigeria, more importantly, Nigeria doing business abroad, which has been a big challenge. The pandemic will definitely add to it. Apart from that, access to credit, which Nigeria scores pretty much the highest, and it has remained so for a long time now. 15, and Nigeria is rated top 15 in the world. But with the pandemic, where banks is saying people should do transactions from their homes, and we all know what network situation is in Nigeria. The truth is, a world, anyone that cannot live in the global reality, which people call WWW, World Wide Web, but which our organization calls a world without walls, a world driven with data. Nigeria data penetration is still very, very low compared to the population. How can he then perform his requirements in the coming period, knowing fully well of low, very poor rate of internet penetration we have? So definitely, I think the pandemic has posed new challenge to Nigeria. And I doubt, except authority double up, we may not be as high as 131 that we have this moment today.
So what about some basic areas such as good roads and infrastructure, which we've talked about, well-worn conversation around these areas. So what would you like to see government do to get a stronger, more what you call ease of doing business, really?
Nigerian government will need to spend minimum of 100 billion annually for the next 10 years for Nigeria to meet up with infrastructural gap, which includes road construction, connecting farms to market, since farms is the major target of government, and also diversifying the economy away from petrodollar to an economy that can be independent and earn higher revenue for Nigerian government in the coming period. If Nigeria don't spend up to that, it will definitely increase the time it will take us to become relatively independent of petrol and other exogenous factors. So lawmakers, policymakers, government of Nigeria must partner with private sector, whether the private sector is in Nigeria or is out of Nigeria. Something that is certain is Nigerian authority must come to terms with the reality of spending on infrastructure. Unfortunately, the pandemic struck of 10.3 trillion budget that Nigeria proposed. And what we even propose more, I can tell you, not my figures according to Nigeria authorities, less than half of these have been generated in revenue when prorated month on month till the very last month, of course, month of September. And I doubt if Nigeria will meet up in last quarter. Recall that inflation is also not taking it easy on the country at 13.22%. Of course, Nigeria may have a lot more to worry about in the coming period.
So how impactful, therefore, do you think recent actions by the Buhari's administration around removal of petrol subsidies, power sector, cost-reflective tariff, the review of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, and including the PIB, do you think all of this will make a further dent on the ease of doing business in the country?
Of fact, on the opposite, I don't think so. I think these are the right moves government is taking. Number one, when it comes to removing subsidy, is long overdue. The thing the Nigerian government has not done over the years is to provide palliative for 89 million people living under multidimensional poverty. Not my figures. That was what UNDP said about Nigeria in 2019. It said 89 people live under multidimensional poverty. Other agencies internationally have said about 66% of Nigerian population are living below poverty line of $1.90. Nigerian government has not provided palliative for this population, who will find it challenging to buy a liter of petrol at a bit above 70 cents per liter. Of course, many of them will not need to buy fuel because they may not even be able to. They may not be able to afford generator. What we call in local parlance, I pass my neighbor. They may not be able to afford it. But what is worrying for everybody is Nigerian government has taken the right decision. I only hope it will be able to see it through in the coming.
ALAJE, senior economist at SPM Professionals. Thank you very much. We continue this conversation in the days and weeks ahead. Thank you.